Simplified Chaos, Episode 10.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to start leading a more purposeful life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hello, wonderful friends. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back, or if you're new, we're glad you're here. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my husband, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks?
And
we made it to 10.
We made it to 10, episode 10. It's so exciting.
This is awesome.
And our almost 9-month-old, not quite 9 months, but she's usually with us, but today her aunt is watching her, so you won't hear any baby squeals today.
No squeals, but maybe in the very faint background.
Yes.
We may hear a scream because she loves screaming her face off now.
Oh my gosh, she's screaming so much. She's a lot. You know, I thought I was loud, and I think she's kind of topping me.
She's taking after you, I guess.
Dang it,
Goodness.
Lucille. Taking all the attention
we're
from
in for
me.
a ride here.
Man.
Man. So, I'm smelling some gratitude. You smell that? Mm-mm. No?
No.
It's probably just me. But
yeah, you had a fun night last night.
I did.
It's probably because of that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm grateful for Pedialyte.
I knew you were going to. I had a feeling it was going to be Pedialyte.
Yeah, Pedialyte is amazing.
Why are you grateful for Pedialyte?
Because I got some electrolytes back in me today. I'm ready to go.
I don't know why you would have needed so many electrolytes back in you.
We went a little hard yesterday. We have this annual...
Not we. I'm just making sure this is
Jill
not
and I.
me.
Me and my friends, we have this annual Maryland basketball game that we go to, and it's a result of NFL season. We pick all the wins and losses for every team, and the person who gets the best record, they get a day of just their beers and stuff paid for, and the person who has the worst record, everybody around of a shot. And we usually get to the Loonies 3 hours before the game.
And Looney's is a pub?
A pub, yes, right next to the arena. And then we hang out after the game. So, yeah, it was a long day, and Pedialyte was definitely necessary.
It was a very long day.
Yeah.
Somebody slept on the floor last night.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Didn't quite make it to the bed.
I eventually got in the bed. I woke up and I was like, what am I doing on the floor?
At like 2:30 when Lucille woke up.
Yeah, man. Good times.
I know not to even bother you or like attempt to get you on the bed now. It's just like, yep, he's a log.
You could have kicked me and wouldn't have felt anything.
Yeah.
You probably wanted to kick me.
No, I just let you go to Slumberland down there.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Well, my gratitude is not because I have a hangover and I didn't have some kind of magical remedy. But I did have a fun day too. It did not involve alcohol like your day in basketball. I am grateful for my NutriBullet because it allows me to get a ton of greens and it tastes so delicious when I mix it with my protein powder and my avocado and all my other delicious add-ins. And the reason I'm grateful for my NutriBullet, not only because I used it today.
Yeah, you just downed a bowl right before we started this podcast.
I did. Well, I needed all my greens today because yesterday we had a brunch and I ate a lot of donuts.
Did I have more greens than you yesterday?
That may or may not be true. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we had a brunch yesterday for my birthday and one of my friends brought Diablo donuts from Baltimore and I'd never had them. And it was like one of each kind you could think of. And I went crazy on the unicorn fart donut and I was not expecting that at all. I was like, yeah, this one looks weird. It's got like fruity pebbles. I'm like, I don't know about this.
That doesn't seem like you.
I tried it and it was like the freshest donut ever. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have to eat this whole one and then I'm going to have to try that one and that one. So did not have a very balanced, nutritious diet yesterday. So thank you, NutriBullet, for allowing me to sneak in all of the greens today because I need it.
You might have to have a second helping later.
I know.
Nice. So what are we jumping into today, Jill?
Today we are hustling, all about side hustles.
Getting our hustle on.
We are going to be talking about kind of what side hustle means to us. We're going to talk about, what our side hustles are.
Yeah, how long we've been doing them.
The benefits,
yeah.
Pros. I'm sure there's cons with everything, but there's definitely more pros, I think, with our side hustles. And I I know you're going to dive really deep into
Yeah.
like
I've
clarifying.
got some tips for people.
Clarifying, yeah, some tips for. I feel like the side hustle you're going to talk about,
Yes,
everybody could do if they wanted
and
to.
it's easy. And if you listen to episode 5 on decluttering, which you're going to want to listen to, this is going to help.
I agree, and I know we usually have some resources, but today I don't really think it's so much resources today. We're just kind of talking about what we're doing, and
Yeah.
if
We're going to make you go out and side hustle. That's going to be your resource. Find
it-
something you like, go out and do it.
And I think everybody might already have a side hustle; they just don't realize it.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm excited about this one. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The program, I guess, is a little bit
Yeah.
different in how we're bringing it out. But
So I want to ask you, because I feel like you've been doing side hustles a little bit longer than I have, and I think you have a couple more to talk about than I have. So talk a little bit about your side hustles, Jill. What are you doing?
well, so first, I found a really fun definition that I liked.
Okay.
Can I talk about
I
it
like
first?
that.
It was on Urban Dictionary, and it said to have the courage, confidence, self-belief, and self-determination to go out there and work it until you find the opportunities you want in life. And I like that it really does take courage to start a side hustle, because usually a side hustle is something that you go after because it really intrigues you and it's something that you're interested in or you're passionate about, but you're
Right.
afraid to do it because maybe of what people are going to think, or you're going to go out of your comfort zone. So, and it's so true. I feel like all of the side hustles that I've done or started have made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, but really excited to do it.
That's more of a mild definition on Urban Dictionary
It
than
is.
what I'm normally used to. That was actually really good.
Yeah, I looked up like other dictionary, the Merriam-Webster or whatever,
Yeah.
and
That one's lame.
I just didn't like it. I really didn't, but I really enjoyed the Urban Dictionary definition.
Good job, Urban Dictionary. Shout out.
So yeah, some of my side hustles, I feel like I have had more than you.
Yes.
So I
I was not a hustler. Now I am.
I am an Arbonne consultant still. And Arbonne is a nutrition and wellness company that sells skincare products, nutritional products, hair products. I mean, they sell a lot. And
They've evolved a lot over the
have.
years.
And I really believed in the company and their mission and all the ingredients they use in their products, because we're going, toxic free, and what goes on your skin is immediately absorbed in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, holy cow, look at the stuff you are putting on your body. But yeah, I started Arbonne, God, I want to say maybe like nine years ago. And I was hustling hardcore with Arbonne.
You were.
And, then I would have these waves where I would stop, trying to sell it as much. And then I would have another let me get into it again. And then I would have another wave where I'd go back down. So different seasons of life, I've been hustling a little bit harder with Arbonne than others.
Right.
And now I'm at this happy medium where right now I feel like I'm a consultant because I like the discounts more than the selling part. But if somebody asks me, I always talk about them. Hey, if you're looking for something, they make a great protein powder. If you're looking for a moisturizer, they're a great company for that. So I feel like I'm not so hustling Arbonne right now.
Right.
I'm just kind of going with it, and that's okay with me. It's nice to make a little bit of money here and there, but it's not, I want to get rich selling Arbonne by no means.
Right. You're not doing the marketing that they typically put out there for people who are buying it, because they want people to sell it too. So it's the whole network marketing thing, but you're just there for people who want it. You enjoy the discounts. We enjoy their protein powder and a lot of
my God,
other
I'm
things.
obsessed
Yeah,
with it.
it's really good. So it's been at times it's been a really lucrative side hustle for you, and then at other times it's more of a benefit, for us, bringing in the things that we like, and are clean, and I love their shampoo and their body wash, and it doesn't have all the chemicals that all the other stuff has in it. So no, it's been a really good side hustle for you, and we've reaped some of the benefits of that.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't really think a side hustle is a side job.
No.
I think they're very different. I think a side hustle is doing something you really love or interested in, not because you're going to make millions off of it. It's just if you make a little bit,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But you're more doing the side hustle because you're into it and it's something you're really passionate about or you want to change in your life. And again, when I first started Arbonne, I had to get in front of people and talk about the products and do presentations. And I was very I kind of am introverted in a way, but I will say Arbonne kind of forced me out of my comfort zone, and I got to meet new people and new women. And I actually went to Las Vegas for one of their big conventions, and it was such a cool experience because I've never done that before.
Did you need Pedialyte for that experience?
I probably should have had Pedialyte for that experience. That was so fun. Vegas was definitely an experience. But Arbonne definitely opened doors to a lot of new things that I would never have done if I didn't try it. And I guess we'll dive more into the pros later. But so Arbonne is one side hustle that I've been doing for a long time. I also do nutrition and wellness coaching. I am a certified nutrition and wellness consultant, and I started just helping people learn how to eat.
Yeah.
And just kind of show them that it's not complicated. It's really simple. And, I do grocery store tours and, I do cooking demos, which I love. I think it's fun to do cooking demos and just kind of physically show people that this is really healthy. And it took me 10 minutes.
It could be really easy. You're not using super amount of ingredients. It's your meals are very simple, hence the clean and simple life.
The blog.
But you make it easy, and, once people kind of see how easy it is, they get encouraged to, want to do it for themselves. So you do a great job with that. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks. And again, I don't make a ton of money doing nutrition and wellness coaching, by no means. I do it because I am passionate about food. I'm passionate about health, and I love helping other people see how simple it is and just change their life, because food changes your life. Once you learn what types of food to eat and what foods agree with your body, it's just
there's a lot of misinformation about food out there too, which
so
it sucks.
Yeah.
Really, it does. And
people are confused because of all the mixed messages. And we talked about the government food pyramid, how it's like way out of whack. It's so wrong. But I like
insane.
Opening people's eyes to just really showing like what we should be putting in our body versus what society says we should, or the commercials, or them just trying to fake us out. Hey, this is healthy. Is it?
Yeah.
Not really.
It's organic. Is it? Is it really organic?
Oh, but yeah. So nutrition and wellness coaching, I tutor. So last summer, I am a elementary school teacher, and I have a master's degree in literacy. So this past summer, that was the summer before.
Yeah,
Holy cow, time flies.
Yeah.
I was a reading tutor for one of my friend's kids, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was only a couple hours here and there, and again, didn't make a ton of money on it, but I love helping kids and working with kids, so it was a fun little side hustle. I got to, do what I love. And
last summer was learning how to be a mom.
Yeah, that was a hustle in itself.
Yes. Parenting.
There was no monetary value. It was more of just a learning value.
Right. Exactly. We're still learning.
But yeah, so Arbonne, nutrition coaching, tutoring, and I also used to sell on Etsy.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that too.
I had a really fun...
You were a hustler.
And it's funny, I didn't think of myself as a hustler, but then when you write down, oh God, you got to sing the rest of the song.
Done.
Dang it. I used to sell customized mugs, and I would make customized totes, and just do doodling, like handwriting on paper, and just, I loved writing. Like, it was fun to write and customize things for people. And
you have a very unique penmanship.
Oh, thank you.
I like it.
Anyway, I did that for a while, and it was fun. And again, that was a season of life where I had time, and it brought me joy. And now it's like, I don't mind it, but it's not as enjoyable as it used to be. And I feel like I was kind of burning out from doing it. And I just kind of decided, I'm going to close my shop and kind of pursue something else and go a different direction. But I'm so glad I did it, because I learned a lot of things that I would have never learned about just communicating and shipping and kind of like the business entrepreneur side of Etsy that I wasn't so good at, but it forced me to get better at it. And yeah, I met some new people, and it was a lot of fun.
If I remember correctly, you were doing like all three of those at once. You were doing like nutrition consulting, you were doing Arbonne, you were doing the totes and the mugs, and you were doing a lot. Is there any reason why you were doing so much? Like, do you feel like, or is it just something that was fun for you?
I think, well, all of them started off because it was fun.
Right.
And I really enjoyed doing it. And then I think as it progressed, the ones that slowly weren't bringing me as much joy as they did in the beginning, like the Etsy shop, I was like, you know what, I gotta stop. I think it was more of the storage for Etsy. I was making a lot of custom mugs, and the thought of, like, we had so many mugs and glasses, and I had them in our basement, and it kind of was like so much freaking clutter.
I remember
with doing that.
we got rid of a lot of mugs just recently because they were just still
I just donated
stored down
them.
there.
I still had a lot of blank mugs, and I just said, you know what? I don't like having a stock of like all of this stuff in our house. Like, I just wanted to get rid of it.
It's so funny too because we would wake up at 8 o'clock and head directly to Walmart so that we can get these 89-cent mugs, and we wanted to get the same ones.
We were mug hustlers.
We went and bought out all their mugs, and Jill would sometimes have orders and need those mugs, and then other times, it was just waiting for an order to come in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it seemed like religiously every Saturday morning or Sunday morning we went to Walmart to pick up more mugs. We had a lot of mugs.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
And I think I even went to like some kind of women's conference with one of your previous bosses, and I made a bunch of custom mugs with positive quotes, and they sold out like hotcakes. And I was like, wow.
I totally forgot about that.
This is really cool. But eventually it just started catching up to me, and it was just a lot of work. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed giving personalized gifts to people to give to other people, but it was just, I don't know, it had its time. And now, I'm glad I did it, but I really don't want to go back right now. I could want to visit it later, but right now I'm okay.
And maybe when Lucille gets in her arts and crafts phase, maybe you get back into that or something like that. But I think we've got a lot on our plate right now between this, the podcast, and
we do
with what you're doing. You don't do nutrition like every day, but I think you have a client right now.
I do, and I like to not have too many clients because I really like to give my undivided attention to one client at a time. But yeah, I was just writing them all down. I was a bigger hustler than I thought, man.
Yeah, no, you are. I'm impressed. So for me, my side hustle just kind of came about, I want to say it was in November when I really got into it, and it was a result of us just cleaning the house. And so I actually just started selling stuff on Let Go to start with. So I saw this episode of Gary Vee, and he was just going around and just flipping stuff from yard sales. He was going to yard sales, finding stuff dirt cheap.
Flea market flip?
Yeah, basically. He wasn't doing anything with them. Like, he wasn't making some cool like dresser or something out of it. But I mean, he would go to flea markets and then turn around and sell stuff on eBay
for a little bit more
money. And the whole point of his video was that, this guy is a millionaire, doesn't need to be doing this stuff, but he's showing people who are aspiring to be millionaires or entrepreneurs in general, and he doesn't want to hear people with the excuse that they don't have money to start their business. He's like showing them, this is how you can make the money to start your business. He's like, you can make a couple $1,000s in a year flipping stuff from a flea market or from a yard sale. And I was like, you know what? That sounds like actually kind of fun, arbitrage. And so instead of going out to yard sales, obviously in November, no one's really having yard sales in this time of year just because it's cold, rainy, snowy. So it's no one's going to have a yard sale. I mean, they might pop up every now and then, but we just started going through stuff that we had at our house. We have furniture, we have, knickknacks and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put some of this stuff on Let Go to start with and see how it does. And I think I sold something within a couple hours. I think it was the TV stand was the first thing that I put on there, our old TV stand. And within an hour, a lady was at our house picking it up. And I was like, man, is it this easy? And it's not that easy. That just happened to be dumb luck.
Yeah.
Because some stuff takes, upwards as a month. I think one thing I had on there for almost, 66 days. That speaker I just sold last week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was on there for a while. But, there was stuff that I would sell within a day. And then there would be stuff that I would sell within 2 weeks, 4 weeks. Most of it, I think my average was 16 days turnaround on everything. And I sold everything. Like anything that I put on there, I sold, which was really cool. But so I started off with Let Go. The nice thing about that is you can rate the seller You can rate the buyer. So as a seller, you have a rating, and as a buyer, you can see, if people showed up on time, and you can actually write reviews. So
And Letgo app is really simple. Like
It's
I even
very
had the
simple.
app, and I would even post some things, and I think I sold a couple things like before you started.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
was
you
very
did.
user friendly. Like I know you're really good at the tedious and the small things, and Letgo was very like black and white, like take a picture, put a price, sell it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very easy.
Yes. So I did that, and then there was a vintage camera, and for vintage things, eBay is the way to go. And because you want to open up for a larger audience, and you get people start bidding against each other, particularly things of higher value, I feel like eBay is definitely the way to go. But it also has to be something that's easy to ship. Like, you don't want to sell a couch on eBay and then have to ship it to California. Like, that would just be, painful.
Yeah.
But
more work than needed.
yeah. So, I sold a vintage camera on there, which was nice. I think I tried to sell something else on there before, and it just didn't work out. It wasn't.
Was it the My Little Ponies?
I never even got that up there yet. Yeah.
They're still in the house somewhere.
Yeah, they're still in the house. I'm probably going to do Facebook Marketplace with those. But,
Okay.
so I did eBay. I sold one thing on there. But my bread and butter has been Facebook Marketplace. That stuff, that website, I've turned around, stuff very quickly on there.
I feel like
And
people are just hovering, waiting to see
are.
what they can buy or a deal they can find, and it's crazy how quickly you would sell things
Right.
on there.
Well, with Facebook, you're able to reach a large audience, because not only do you have the Facebook Marketplace, but then there's all these groups which are like called yard sale groups. Like for around here, there's a Crofton yard sale group. There's an Anne Arundel County yard sale group. So not only are you posting to the marketplace, but then you can post to those individual groups as well that people are members of. So
you posted those too.
I would post them. You can post up to 10 different groups in addition to the marketplace.
Wow.
So you're able to just reach a vast, audience there. And so my strategy for posting things that I'm selling is to put it on Letgo and Facebook Marketplace. I want to put them on both just so I'm reaching more people. But I found that Facebook Marketplace tends to sell a little bit quicker, and the people are a little bit more reliable. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, you have to meet with people, and, are people coming to your house? Or are you meeting, somewhere else? I've done both.
I feel like it's not as sketchy as like
It's
Craigslist.
not. It's not, because people have a profile. You're able to look at their profile. You are able to see their rating as a buyer. And they do the same thing on Facebook Marketplace. You can rate them as a buyer, and they can rate you as a seller. And usually, I think it's a frowny face or a happy face. Like, those are the two options. And so I have 13 happy faces,
Yay.
which I'm happy to say. So,
Well, how much time would you say, I guess, posting something on
Sure.
Facebook Marketplace?
really easy.
Like, is it time consuming to like what's your technique with taking photos? Like, do you have to do it a certain way, or what patterns have you noticed which things sell quicker? Like, was it, even in your description, like I know you had a technique, not just saying, oh, this is a dresser. You would have a way of wording it, and
Right.
once you got the hang of it, it was like quicker and quicker. Do you want to just talk
yeah.
about that a
Oh,
little bit?
no.
'Cause I think it'd be kind of cool
I'm
for
glad
other people
you
to know.
asked. Absolutely. So there are a lot of things that you want to do, and this isn't time consuming. I mean, it is a little bit, but I would say for one item, you're looking at 20 minutes, maybe. That's probably max. But the first thing you do want to take good photos, and you want to have right lighting. You want to have like a background that's not busy. So I've been taking a lot of pictures just on our kitchen floor against a
remember
a back
you
wall,
stacking
and
things
so
there.
I mean, it sounds silly, but you want the focus to be on the object, and you want to get it at different angles too. So my whole thing is take at least 3 photos. I believe with Facebook Marketplace, you can have up to 10 photos, and with Letgo, I think it's also 10.
Okay.
But you do want to have multiple angles. I mean, think of it on Amazon. When you're going on Amazon looking to buy something, they have at least 5 or 6 different images.
And as a buyer, you want to see all the
do.
different angles so you know exactly what you're getting. So that makes complete sense.
Yeah. And if you can show it in use somehow, then that's also a good thing. Like most of the things I didn't show in use, but I think that also helps people visualize.
I think it's like buying a house. When you show what purpose that room could bring, it's like, oh, I have an idea of how I can use this room. And that's kind of what you did with the objects, like the TV stand or the bookshelf, like you would show how you could use it in a unique way. And I think that was kind of attractive to some people who maybe aren't as creative, and they're like, oh, I didn't think to do it that way.
Exactly.
So I like that you did that. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. And so, a lot of times people think just take the picture and then that's it, like that. And they do. They just take the picture and they throw it up there with a price. And that's really not attracting buyers. They might see the image, but they want to know more about it. So the next thing is you want a title that has some keywords about the object that you're selling.
What do you mean keywords?
So if I'm selling a speaker, you actually want to have like the name of the speaker in there,
the brand
the color, the brand name. You want to put everything
like
out there.
Bose red
speaker. Yeah, Bose.
Like okay.
I think I sold a waterproof one, and you want to call that out in the title, so that
how it's unique. So that way people are really
so that people
intrigued.
can search for it. Somebody might be looking for a waterproof Bluetooth speaker. So you need to have those things in the title, not the description, in the title, because that's how it's going to come up in the search results.
Okay.
Now, the next thing I wanted to say is pricing. You don't want to just make up a price. You actually have to do a little research and find out what people are selling similar items to. And you want to look on eBay. You want to look on Facebook Marketplace and see if you can find those items. So that's why keywords are also important in titles, because you want to be able to easily find stuff so that you can see what it's selling for or how much they're selling it for.
And it's one of those things that makes complete sense. Like when you're buying a house, the real estate agent is going to find comparables. Like, what is that house going for? What is this house going for? How are they similar? How are they different? So it makes complete sense that you would do the same thing with things you're selling.
Exactly. And so, I'll usually put a price based on similar, and then I'll do OBO or best offer, because I do want to sell it quickly, but I also want to sell it at the price that I listed it for. And if it's a couple weeks and I haven't sold it, I still keep the OBO. And if somebody says, hey, I see you listed this for 40, but I'll buy it for 20. And at that point, I'm gonna be like, okay, I haven't really gotten many hits. And you can also see how many people have viewed it. And if you're not getting views on your listing, it's maybe somebody's not, maybe it's just something that people aren't interested in, or you have to go back and look at your title. You have to go back and look at, your pricing. So those are a couple things you want to do there. But the area I think is actually, that's very overlooked, is actually the description itself. You want to make it so that the buyer can see themselves with that item. So you want a good description of the item.
Paint a picture. Like the suitcase that I just sold, I thought it was hysterical. It was a big suitcase. So my title was big ass suitcase, but I did the what is it? Not ampersand, but the at sign and dollar sign. But then I made a joke in my first line. I was like, this suitcase is large enough to fit Princess Vespa's industrial strength hair dryer. And people actually laughed at that, and the person who ended up buying it, she needed it for her husband. They were getting ready to go on a trip, and I guess they heavy packers. But, it's just things like that add some personality to it.
Exactly. So it's
really
fun.
Funny. You had fun with that listing.
That was my best listing yet. But it's also an opportunity to set some stipulations, I guess, is what I want to say. So I always include that the buyer must be willing to pay cash and pick up the item in Millersville, Maryland.
You're making it easier for you.
I don't want to. I don't want to go and travel 45 minutes. To me, it's not worth my time. With furniture, and we've sold a lot of furniture. We've sell some of your grandparents' antique furniture. I'm not shipping that stuff around. I'm not doing that. So you have to have a truck or a car that's going to be able to pick it up. I'm not doing that. So I set stipulations in there, and yes, it may prevent somebody from buying something, but it's also a convenience thing for me. So I have people come to the house, pick it up, or I'll meet them somewhere in Millersville, like the CVS or at Wawa or something like that. But again, I've had great experiences. I've met a lot of really, really nice people, and they have a story for how they can use that item. And that's what I actually really love about it. Like at the end of the day, I know that the item is going to a good home. People are going to have practical use for it. The one guy who came over, he brought me a coffee. He came over at 8 o'clock in the morning and bought 3 things for me on Let Go.
He did.
Bought me a coffee and was just the nicest guy. And we just get to hear nice stories from people. So it's I guess that's one of the benefits of doing it. But to me, that's the whole reason why I'm doing it. We're finding something that we are not using anymore. It's unwanted or unneeded. And we're finding somebody who doesn't want it or need it.
Well, it's kind of different how my side hustles were kind of born just from being passionate about it and changing my lifestyle, like with health, nutrition, or skincare or whatever. And your side hustle was kind of found just through decluttering.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you said, oh, I have a passion for selling things to people in Facebook Marketplace. It was kind of like we had a lot.
Turning into that, though.
Well, it is, but it's kind of neat how, you don't realize how things can just pop up out of nowhere as you're living your life. Like, you may
Right.
not have a passion about it right now, but it could blossom from something you're doing and changing your lifestyle. And as we were decluttering and getting rid of things, the garage started filling up. And instead of, just donating it all or, just, I don't know, trashing it, you were like, it might be kind of fun to see if I can sell any of this stuff. And then once you started and researched it a little bit more, it became really fun for you, and you kind of set your own boundaries, which I think kind of stipulates a side hustle different from a side job. A side hustle, like, we have the control. Mm-hmm. There is no boss ahead of us telling
Right.
us
We can start and stop
what hours
as we
you need to
please.
work, how much you need to work for. Like, we have the flexibility and freedom to do it when we want to do it.
Exactly.
Which is kind of fun. Because if you work a full-time job and, you want to do something else, you want it to be something that's going to fill you up, not take away from your time and energy. It's like, if you're putting your time and energy into something, you want it to be something that's really going to be fun for you.
Exactly.
And I think it's kind of cool how this side hustle of yours just kind of blossomed from just simplifying your life, which is really fun.
And I do want to get into going to yard sales in the spring when the weather turns nice,
I
and,
can't
and
wait to see
actually
you do
turn
that.
around and see if I can
Maybe you can
actually
bring
flip
Lucille
this
around.
Well, and that's the other thing. I was thinking, later in life, that's a lesson for Lucille on how to, try to find
Reuse.
bargain, reuse, how to get rid of stuff, and I think there's just a lot to be learned from that. And so I think it's going to be fun to do that. I hope she would want to do that.
We know a benefit out of your side hustles that eventually it's like an opportunity for us to hang out together too.
Yeah.
Like, if we all do it together, even if we go to
Absolutely.
antique shops or flea markets and, we're teaching her the business side of things or how to reuse things and make it, somebody else wants, or even
Yeah.
so maybe we want to treasure it one day. I think that's one of the pros too, is that we get to spend time together doing that kind of stuff.
I mean, there's a lot to be taught. I mean, there's logistics. Like, you want to map out the yard, so you want to scout out the yard sales in advance and then map it out so that you're. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna
it's,
let that to you. Since
oh yeah,
that's all you.
Yeah, but
See,
I mean,
to
there's
me, that
just
does
so
not sound
much-
exciting. But just going to it with you, maybe finding stuff. I would love to be the finder.
Yes.
Like, I would love to pick.
No,
out
I would
things
love that. You got a good eye for things.
and
so.
find ways to like use it in a different way. But see, that tedious stuff, and I love that excites you, because it totally does not excite me.
Yeah, you're totally touching my leg too right now, which is awesome. I just wanted to say.
It sounds like we haven't been married for like
I know.
4 years plus.
Oh my
You
goodness.
totally just touched my
Yeah.
leg.
But the last thing I did want to say, as far as a tip for selling on Facebook Marketplace, and I alluded to it earlier, is always, always, always rate your buyer afterwards. They tell you on Let Go to do that. You're prompted to do that. But on Facebook, you're not so much. And you don't see a lot of people rated on there. I don't think I've seen anybody who's had more than like 3 or 4 ratings, and I have 13. I have 13 happy
No big
faces,
deal.
but it's because I rate. Yeah, not a big deal, but it's because I rate each seller, and I'll ask the seller, if you had a good experience, if you like the item, to please rate me as well.
That takes like, an extra 1 minute to say that.
It doesn't take any effort whatsoever, and it builds my trust as a seller. People now trust me to
little
know
things.
that they're getting an item that I price fairly, that I show up on time to appointments. And there's been times where I haven't been at appointments, but luckily you or your mom have been here to and I wouldn't put you guys in a situation where I thought somebody was coming to rob you or anything like that.
Well, I would hope not.
No, but I feel comfortable having people come over to the house to pick things up just based on the experiences we have. And, we're able to see, and, if people don't have a rating, I'll look into their profile a little bit more and see if they've bought stuff and whatnot in the past, because you can see what they've bought and you can see what they've sold as well. So if they've bought things or if they've sold things, I know that this person's really in there for,
I mean, and everybody wants feedback. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if the more feedback you see, the more trust you have in the product or the person selling it. And guys, if you haven't given us any feedback for our podcast,
Yeah.
that would be great if you could go into iTunes and write us a review. Please.
I would love that. But also, I'm kind of curious as to what everyone else's side hustles are. I'd love to hear if you have a side hustle and what you're doing and how it brings you joy, and
Or even how you came to it. Like,
Yeah.
I think Nick's
the
side
stories
hustle
are the best.
is really unique, how it came to be, like how you just started really getting into selling stuff. And, I think it'd be fun to listen to everyone's stories and how their side hustle blossomed.
Hell yeah. I also have this nifty spreadsheet that I use to kind of keep track of everything of what I sold. And so on there, I put the date that I listed, the date that I've sold it, and then it'll calculate how many days it takes to sell. So I'm able to get like my average number. I keep track of, actually the dollar amount, and I keep track of what I initially listed for and then what I actually sold it for. So that way I can kind of see if I'm pricing the right way. So yeah, I'm a big nerd. I like data. I'm a data-driven person. So for me, it's very cool just to have that and being able to visualize the selling process there.
And to kind of like sum up our little side hustle conversation, I think I had this realization that side hustles should be a lot like self-care activities. I feel like they should fill us up. They should fill our bucket up versus drain us. And I think it's a way to serve others in the best way you know how and the best way that you're gifted to. And I know that sometimes our full-time jobs like don't always align to bringing us the most meaning in our lives. Like some of us may be doing jobs where like, it's just a job, but I feel like side hustles can give us that opportunity to experiment and try things new, or it's something that we feel organically drawn to or interested in to try it out. And I think it's a way that you can maybe have more purpose in your life. Like, because I find that you helped people find things to give people, like gifts or something that serves a purpose in their home. Mm-hmm. And I feel like side hustles have allowed us to kind of help people. Like, how can we help people? Like, I like helping people nutrition side and health side and skincare product side. And you're helping people just, with gifts or tangible things. So
can I say something about that?
With what?
About helping people. Like, that's one of the things I've heard, and I think it's great advice. And this has nothing to do with a side hustle, but instead of asking kids what they want to be when they grow up, ask them how they want to help people when they grow up.
I think that absolutely has to do with side hustling too, though.
But I mean, it does. But I mean, I don't want to ask Lucille what she wants to be when she grows up. I think that's not the right question. People? I just want to ask her how she wants to help people, and then you'll find the joy in what you do.
I completely agree. I feel like when we hear the word job, automatically we think about salary.
We think salary. We think
money.
Some people cringe when they think about their job. And I don't think it should be like that.
And I know money's important, but instead of focusing on the benefits and, when I say benefits, I mean like insurance, and it sucks that we have to think that way. Like, oh, does this job have benefits? But I wish, more of us thought like, what can I do? Like, how do I want to help people? How do I want to bring joy into people's lives? Right. And that usually leads you to doing something that you want to do.
And it makes you happy.
It does.
Yeah. Life's all about being happy.
So if you're not happy with your job and you want to experiment and do something that you're passionate about, try that side hustle, guys. It's not going to bring in a lot of money, or maybe it could one day.
Yeah, just depends.
You never know what doors could open. And I think, can we talk about some of the benefits now outside hustle? I know you kind of mentioned some.
Yeah, we've kind of sprinkled some in here, but let's dive into it.
So I had some too. And I think we kind of listed some of these too. It's a way to pursue interests and just having more meaning and purpose in your life. It can reinvigorate you with like a new sense of purpose and energy. Like maybe your full-time job is monotonous and it's, there's no excitement in your life. Like that can add something fun to your daily routine. It definitely did
for me. Yeah. I mean, if I didn't do it, I'd probably be sitting around watching TV or something. And so now, we very rarely watch TV anymore. And I think it's because we have this podcast going on. It's because we've been involved in our side hustles, and it makes me feel more productive as a person, and it brings me joy. Like I'm very happy with doing all of this stuff, and I'm not sitting in front of a TV.
And I think productivity can have like an upside and a downside. I think a lot of times, sometimes we think productivity means that we're getting a lot done and we're feeling good, but I feel like we have to be purposeful with, are we getting things done that are going to benefit us in the long run? It's not just, crossing things off my to-do list, aimlessly. It's choosing intentional things that are bringing us what we want into our life. And I think with your side hustle, it is giving us a little bit more not income, but a little bit of extra money for traveling. Like
it all goes to vacation. It immediately
goes to our why on why we want to simplify our life and maybe why we want to do the side hustle. Not only is it bringing other people joy, but we get to align it to our values that matter to us.
Good call, Jilly.
Another benefit, it feeds your soul creatively. I know that you always thought you're like, I'm not a creative person. You're like, I don't play music like you do. I'm not artsy, but you're creative in different ways.
Right. I'm starting to realize that now.
And I think it's awesome that you're experiencing this now, even though you always thought I'm not a creative person, but truly you are.
Yeah. And she's totally touching my leg again.
I'm touching your leg again.
I love
I'm
it.
so sorry. I feel like side hustles help stress too.
Oh, 100%.
Like
now, and sometimes they can add to stress, and that's when you need to take a step back. And I want to kind of go back to watching TV. I like watching TV. I don't have anything against it. And there's just some nights where I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. I'm going to sit back and just
can't
watch
do
TV.
what?
I can't do the side hustle or do the podcast.
Well, again, you're
stuff.
in control of it, so that's
But
what's
I'm in
nice
control of it. So, don't let it stress you out. If you find it becoming stressful, take a step back, reevaluate, and then pick it back up again.
And I think that's kind of what happened with my Etsy shop. It was just becoming a lot of mind clutter, like worrying about, I got to ship it, I got to buy packaging things. And I didn't like that my fun side hustle was becoming stressful. So that's when I had to take a step back and say, I think I might have to give this up for a little bit or permanently. I'm not sure, because it's adding to my stress versus filling me up. But yeah, so I think that's an awesome benefit. It also gives you some extra side cash, which we talked about, for whatever your goals are.
Yeah. Vacations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it also creates unpredictable opportunities. Again, I've met some really cool people, and I've had relationships from my side hustles, and you don't know where it's going to lead you. That's what's cool about it. It's like a little surprise waiting.
I mean, that's been the funnest part about the side hustle, is just meeting people. And again, it's you with helping people with the meal planning and just seeing the benefits and the happiness that the people are feeling once they've gone through the program. Or for me, just again, giving somebody something that, lights their day up or is going to light somebody else's day up. So yeah, I think that's the most important benefit for me, at least.
And I think the last benefit I have is just growing personally and just having more self-confidence. Because you may be going out of your comfort zone or trying something new and it's scary. You learn so much about yourself that you actually can do it. You always have these, I can't do it. I'm not a people person. I get nervous when I talk to people. I don't like public speaking because those were the voices in my head. And then I had just did it. And it was scary at first, but I am so glad I did, because
you just have to keep at it. And then all of a sudden you don't think about it anymore.
I think you still think about it. It's just, I still get butterflies when I get in front of people, but
that's a good thing.
It's not as bad as it used to be. But when you're done, it's like this high.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, that was awesome. And then when people got feedback for you, it's like, I feel like I'm doing this for a reason, and it's gratifying to hear that.
Well, at the end of the day, when you're giving a presentation or anything like that, there's nobody in the audience hoping that you fail at it. Like, they want you to do well. They're there for a reason.
I know, but you know how you create these scenarios?
Oh yeah,
like
no, we get in our own way all the time.
We do.
It's crazy.
Why do we get in our own way?
It's our brains. It's
We're
how
the
we're
person
wired.
standing in front of, we are what stop us from doing something new.
Yep.
It's like nobody else. I think we find excuses, but honestly, it's like we're in our own way. And we just have to get out of our way.
We do.
Move it, Jill. Okay? Get out.
Go.
So should we
Are we getting into the... Are we wrapping up that and getting into the quote of the day?
wrapping up, yeah.
All right. What is the quote of the day, Jilly?
So I had two.
Oh,
But I
you
think
never said quotes of the day.
I
Come
know.
on now.
So I'm just
Can't be
gonna
breaking our own rules.
I'm just gonna say the one.
Okay.
And this
Save
one is
the other
long.
one.
It's a long one,
Oh,
but
man.
I really liked it.
Okay.
It's a terrible thing, I think, in life to wait until you're ready. I have this feeling now that actually no one is ever ready to do anything. There is almost no such thing as ready. There is only now. And you may as well do it now. Generally speaking, now is as good as time as any. And I think the take action would just be...
Who was that by?
Oh, sorry. This was by Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. And the take action from this episode and from this quote is that there is no such thing as ready, and stop overthinking it, stop overcomplicating any decision in life, and just do it. Just try it. What's going to happen? Experiment. You're probably going to learn. You learn more from your mistakes anyway, so why wouldn't you? I think we're so scared to do something new because we're afraid of rejection, what people think, but really, we're the ones we're afraid of. We're afraid of failing or, getting out of our comfort zone. And I keep saying I'm like a broken record, the same thing over and over again, but it's just so true. Like, I'm having all these reflections as we're just talking about. And it's so, I was the one stopping me from trying anything new before. And then once I got in my way and just dove into it and just said, you know what, I don't care. I'm just going to try it. It might be fun. And it ended up being really cool.
Yeah.
And all those benefits we got out of it.
It's been great.
Wow.
I think that's it. Did we wrap up side hustle?
I think so. I know this one was a little bit different than usual, but it was kind of fun talking about this one.
I like this one. I like all of our episodes.
I do. And I feel like there's more people side hustling than they think.
I think that I agree. I think
if you're doing
more and more
something,
people are being encouraged to side hustle, and again, it's something that just it brings us joy, and we love doing it. Or else, if we didn't, we wouldn't be doing it. It would be a waste of time. But like you said, we've reflected on our side hustles and how it's brought us joy, and we're going to continue to do it.
We are.
Yeah. But we want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us this week.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.
We want to thank everybody for listening today. Please be sure to subscribe and sign up to receive notifications so you know when the next episode is live. If you like today's episode and know someone who could benefit from the topic we covered, please share it with them. And if you have any suggestions for us or want to chime in on today's topic, you can email us at simplifiedchaospodcast@gmail.com, and that's chaos with a K, or send us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time.